Relax and enjoy a glass of wine, and watch our What's Cooking on Wine show on CRN with host Larry Van Alst on Wednesdays. It's the Fountain Grove Inn, Hotel, and Conference Center located in the heart of Sonoma wine country. It's easily located in Santa Rosa off the 101 Fountain Grove Parkway exit. Call 707-578-6101. That's 707-578-6101 or visit fountaingrovinn.com. Welcome back here to the PM Show Weekend Edition, ladies and gentlemen, with the one and only Robert Conrad. I'm Michael Horn, and the singer you're talking about, as I recall, was Pat Boone. I think that's the name we're looking for.
What a nice guy, huh?
He's a good guy. I love Pat Boone.
And you know, there's an irony there, because my son, Christian, the actor now, contractor, worked on Pat's house.
Yeah.
Pat didn't know he's my son. And my son
Really?
came back and said, what a wonderful man he is. I couldn't believe how gracious he was. And I thought he knew me, and he thought because of your relationship with him, but he didn't know me as a Conrad. But he found out. But before that, he said he was just a great human being. So I'm glad that we had him on last week. And when he heard my daughter Chelsea sing, he went, "Whoa, man!" He didn't know who she was, and he went, "Whoa, what a voice!"
So might you be doing an album maybe yourself at some point? You talked about this about 4 weeks ago.
Hey, look, he's it's so funny the thought
what
of it.
did Pat Boone say about
well,
that?
no, he's doing an album called The Nearness of You, and I heard him sing, and he really sounds good. And the guy's 76 years old, and he sounds good.
He's excellent. He's a professional.
Yeah, but a lot
like
of things
you are.
happen when you get older. You know, like your acting absolutely becomes better, and I guess your singing does. And then you reach that real old thing when it's time to get off Facebook. Oh, incidentally, I wanted to tell you, I've discovered so much correspondence from Facebook. What I do.
I heard you going over it today. You were going over tons of
but I was
mail.
upset because we lost it and it fell through the cracks, and I want those on Facebook to know I read it on the air. That's why I don't respond to you on the Facebook, because it's just too complicated. On the air is a lot easier for me. I still hear Tangerine in my ear. What is that? We've got an
I thought
engineer.
it was kind of fun while we're talking about it.
No, seriously. It's,
You got
thanks a lot. I appreciate that. We have Robert from Texas, Desiree from Mass.
Yes.
Well, you know why I said Mass, right?
Why?
I've never learned to say it. And John,
Massachusetts,
and Mike from Nevada.
Math.
So if you guys can hang in for just a second, I want to respond to Ross. Did anyone ever tell you?
There's an email there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Ross. It's R-O-S. Did anyone ever tell you looked like a young James Dean in the movie Palm Springs Weekend? Yeah, this is a female, I hope, and says, because I might add, cute too. So, Ross, I hope you're a girl. Anyway, that started my acting career, what you just mentioned.
Palm Springs Weekend and the James Dean story, yeah.
What happened was James Dean died in that auto crash. And for those of you who don't remember James Dean, he was an outstanding young actor. He starred in 3 movies, and they were giant successes. And he had a career that would never end if he had lived long enough. But unfortunately, he died at 24. I think it was in 1955. And a movie came out called The Giant, and it starred Elizabeth Taylor and also Rock Hudson, and nobody thought the movie was going to be a success because of the death of James Dean. No one's going to go see a movie with a dead star.
Gotcha.
And it was a Warner Brother film, and it was debuting in Chicago. And my mother now is in the public relations, and the general manager for Warner Brothers came up to my mom and said, "What is your son doing now?" And she says, "He's okay. He's all right. He's married. He's got kids, and he's behaving, and he's pushing a truck or working on the docks, but he's good." And he said, "Well, he looks a lot like James Dean. Would he change his hair, and would he go see the movie and then review the movie on a Man in the Street talk show?" And the guy's name was Ernie Simon, who did the show. And my mother said, "I don't know. I don't know. I'll ask him." So she called me up, and she said, "Hey, Duke, they want you to be on a talk show after seeing the James Dean movie giant. I said, well, I haven't seen any of his movies. I've heard about him, but I don't think so, Ma. All the guys would be, they'd be laughing at me. And she said, well, here's the good news. They will give you a special screening in the afternoon at the theater, and you can bring in your crew, and also they'll supply popcorn. I said, oh, great. I tell the guys we're going to a movie and I eat popcorn. No, and beer. I said, and beer, Mom?
And beer.
She said, yeah. I said, I'll see what I can do. But no, I don't think so. Because, I don't know. I'll be brazzing and people are going to make fun of me. And she said, no, wait a minute. There's $100. I said, huh? What?
Cash.
Mom?
Cash is
I was
king.
making $125 gross, and I thought, 100 for a day? I said, I'm in. So I went and saw the movie and brought the crew, and we were talking to the screen, drinking beer and having a ball. And Ernie interviewed me, and I liked the movie, and I liked him, and I said so. And there were about 8 or 9 people there, and there was a positive reaction according to the television people. And Ernie said, "Can you do it tomorrow again? Can we do the
Same
little
deal,
segment?"
$100 the whole thing?
No, same deal, $100, same thing. Well, I did it for 5 days, and there were hundreds of young girls
Showing up.
And when I walked on, they made the noise that little teenage kids do. And I'm going, what the hell is this all about? Well, the James Dean Foundation that was going to make a movie about James was in Fairmont, Indiana, and that's almost a suburb of Chicago. And they saw the interview. They contacted me and said, we want you to star in that movie because you look like James Dean. I said, I'm not an actor. I'm a singer, truck driver. And they said, well, if you become an actor, and I said, well, what do I do? And they said, you go to an acting school. So subsequently, I lived in the suburbs, and I went over to Evanston, where Northwestern was, and they had this great drama school there. Elvina Krause and Robert Schneiderman, Professor Schneiderman. And I went over there, and I said, I'm interested in enrolling as a student in the theater arts. And Dr. Schneiderman said, and you were graduated from what high school? I said, well, now wait a minute.
Hold the phone a second.
Now, wait a minute, Dr. Schneiderman. I didn't quite make it through high school because, well, I got a GED. And he said, a GED? And I said, yeah, general education diploma. And you want to go to Northwestern in theater arts? He said, really? I said, yeah. He said, it's amazing. He said, wait a minute. And he went and got a piece of material from the police, the detective store. He brought it back, and he said, read this. I studied it. I read it. I came back, and I read it. And he said, there's a quality about that I like. He said, I'll tell you what. I'm going to let you enroll as a special student.
Wow.
And I did. And that was after a year with Dr. Schneiderman, and I studied. They did a tour, Hector Lancaster, looking for, at the college level, outstanding young actors to do the movie Run Silent, Run Deep. And Dr. Schneiderman came to me and said, you're my choice. So I went down to the hotel.
Wow.
I read for the role, got the role, went back to Dr. Schneiderman. I said, hey, I got the role. Now, what do I do? It's going to conflict with school. He said, you came to school to get a job. Now you've got a job. I said, are you suggesting what I think? He said, yep, don't quote me, but drop out and pursue your acting.
Wow.
And that's what started.
And that's what started the whole thing with
Yeah.
the James Dean thing at the beginning. And when you were on the stage as James Dean, what did you do? Did you talk like James Dean or
No,
just walk
I never
out?
did the movie.
But no, I'm talking about in the movie theater when you were there, when your mom set you up for that deal for the $100 a day.
No,
Did
we
you
were.
just
No, the
introduce
guys. No, the guys. I didn't introduce myself to what?
You just showed up. They just
No,
wanted
there
you
were a
to.
bunch of guys. We sat there and watched the movie.
So they just wanted you to be in with the guys and be there. Is that what it
No,
was?
they wanted me to see the movie before he interviewed me after the movie on the street.
Gotcha. So they did
Yeah.
the interview each day after you on the street. Was
Yeah,
that the deal?
because we saw the movie once, and then I saw it, and I liked it, and I gave an honest interview, but the people saw it, and it's interesting, isn't
They
it?
started
How
coming
a
down.
truck driver can, What?
The rest is history.
Are you struggling with too much credit card debt, sky-high interest rates, late fees, over-limit fees? Having trouble just making the monthly minimums? We can help. We're Credit Card Relief.